Museums in Butte. The World Mining Museum opened its doors for the first time in 2020 on Friday. KPAX's Dom Tibbetts tells us what people should expect and prepare for.
One of Butte's most popular tourist destinations is back up and running. World Museum of Mining Executive Director Jeanette Koff and her staff have been implementing new safety measures to meet the required guidelines on what they call a phased reopening.
Our tour capacity is greatly reduced. We've reduced it to about 1/3 of what we normally do for our tour capacity. On those tours, face masks will have to be worn by our guests. Our tour guides will have a face shield so that they can project their voices. Really hard to talk in a face mask for an hour.
Normal operations for the staff will surely look a lot different from the years past. However, the museum is happy to share a brand new tour for its guests.
We decided to start offering it to the public this year, again, because we're not opening up the whole museum. We wanted to share Butte's history and mining history. So it's really a walk through the mine yard. You go into the engine room, the original engine room of the Orphan Girl, walk under the Orphan Girl headframe, just get a little bit of an idea of the operations of a mine yard.
Like many tourist-driven businesses in the mining city, the museum is staying optimistic in hopes they can sustain operations during this tough time while prioritizing health and safety for all.
We have been on a steady incline of guests, and we had a record-breaking year almost every year of those years. We're not going to have that this year. I'm not even aiming to have that this year. My goal this year is to keep everybody health and safety, whatever those numbers may be.
In Butte, Dom Tibbetts, MTN News.
The museum encourages guests to make reservations ahead of time or purchase your tickets online on their website. Raising 5 kids while teaching hundreds of others. Find out more from the Great Falls mom doing it all.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Pandemic or not, raising 5 kids can be a challenge. Imagine doing it while remotely teaching 5 high school English classes. For one Great Falls woman, that has become her new normal, and KPAX's Tim McGonigal has more.
Because the first couple weeks we were just running rogue, and it was craziness. And
the Bohannon House in Great Falls gives a whole new meaning to the term homeroom.
We jokingly call ourselves the Bohannon Academy of Fine Young Men.
Rachel Bohannon and her husband Rob have 5 boys, ranging in age from a senior to a 2-year-old. Rachel, an English teacher at Great Falls High, never dreamed her living room would double as a classroom.
I'm expected to teach during the day, but I'm also expected to help all of these kids get their work done during the day.
She says the adjustment to remote learning was rough at first, from both a parenting and teaching perspective. Her family is fortunate to have enough devices for their family of 6. Others aren't so lucky.
Some of them are sharing electronics with their siblings, so they aren't available at a certain time to do a Zoom meeting. I have other kids who work during the day, so they do their work at night. I have kids that will send me things at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Her teaching day consists of grading, preparation, and talking to parents.
I've contacted more parents probably during this time than I have in almost 20 years of teaching. If this had happened when I first started teaching, I don't know how we would have done it.
That's in addition to the communication with students.
I might be reteaching the same thing 30 times instead of doing it one time to 30 kids.
Her husband works at Benefice, and he too has taken on a teaching role during his off time, focusing on their 3rd grader who gets most of his schoolwork through packets.
You know, he's still learning a lot of things, and so he needs a lot more sit-down help where the other 2 just need to ask me questions here and there. And so on the days that he's off, he's Grayson's teacher.
Although the learning style is different, Rachel says most parents have been supportive, and so is she.
I know my kids are being challenged. They're still learning new skills thanks to Zoom. You know, they're still learning some new math strategies. Even during this quarantine, their teachers are still doing things to make them feel special and make them feel wanted and to teach them. Yeah, family consumer science. We do it all here.
In Great Falls, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.
That's how he pulls his load.
Rachel says if remote learning becomes the new normal, schools need to be ready to transition to the online method quicker, and teachers need to become more computer savvy.